Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak is widely expected to cruise to victory in the upcoming polls, with the redelineation exercise set to likely reduce Pakatan Harapan's chances of an upset victory. According to public policy analyst Dr. Lim Teck Gee, the opposition's chances of winning are now 10% versus 20% before the redelineation. He also believes that former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad could cause a 5% swing in Malay votes in Barisan Nasional marginal seats. However, he says Pakatan will need to get through to the 1 million Felda settler voters, who make up a third of Malay voters, if it is to take Putrajaya. Earlier today, Najib announced the dissolution of Parliament effective tomorrow, paving the way for the nation's 14th general elections. The Election Commission will announce a date for polling, which must be held within 60 days. Investors will be staying on the sidelines from now till the elections, says a Bloomberg report. Citing Fortress Capital Asset Management Director Geoffrey Ng, Bloomberg says investors are comfortably numb. In fact, as Phillip Capital Management pointed out to the news agency, people are more concerned about the trade tensions between the US and China. So any outcome is expected to be met with muted reaction. CIO Ang Kok Heng was quoted as saying that the strategy to outperform the market would still be a bottom-up approach to invest in stocks selectively. Meanwhile, Alan Richardson of Samsung Asset Management told Bloomberg that there is little tolerance for political risk in Malaysia. This is given that risk aversion has risen since March from the trade spat. Generally, the market expects the ruling coalition to retain its grip on power. Bank Negara has refuted a news report that said its analysis on the living wage suggests that Malaysians are poor. The central bank says a living wage is merely a benchmark on the income needed to attain a minimum acceptable living standard. It is a guide for employers, not a benchmark to assess the extent of poverty. BNM adds the living wage does not supersede the relevance of the current minimum wage of 920 to 1,000 ringgit. In its 2017 annual report, the central bank had urged employers to consider paying a living wage. It estimated that a single adult in Kuala Lumpur would need to earn 2,700 ringgit a month in order to lead a comfortable life. Surya Capital Holdings has decided not to go ahead with its plan to sell a stake in Sabah Ports to MMC Corp. Sabah Ports holds a 30-year concession to operate 8 ports in Sabah, including Sepangah Bay Oil Terminal and Kota Kinabalu Port, commencing 2004. Surya told Bursa today it is no longer pursuing the deal, but gave no reasons for its decision. The group is controlled by the Sabah state government. Fitters Diversified's Baling plant in Kedah has started selling renewable electricity to Negara Nasional. Its unit's future biomass gasification just received approval from the Sustainable Energy Development Authority to commence a feed-in tariff to the national grid for 16 years starting March 31st. This is under a power purchase agreement signed in 2015 with a feed-in tariff rate of 47 cents per kilowatt-hour. Fitters' 2-megawatt biogas capture plant was set up at an estimated cost of 24 million ringgit. It says the contract is expected to contribute immediately to the group's performance for the fiscal years ending December 31st, 2018 to 2033.